Something strange is going on in the Eastern Conference. The New York Knicks are the team to beat. We are 2-0. We share a 2-0 record with three other teams. Today's episode is going to feature a new segment. We're going to call it Op Watch. We're going to look at all of our ops in the Eastern Conference every now and then just to take a look at the landscape of the Eastern Conference and see where we stand. It's never too early to look around the standings. It's what makes the regular season fun, especially early on in the season where you get to hypothesize some fun things. Some young teams get hot early. Some, theoretical good teams are struggling. And you get to have a little fun with the fans out there. And at least right now we're 2-0, so we don't have to have too much paranoia. We're not going to obviously look too far ahead in this regular season, get through it healthy, get through it with a top seed, hopefully number one seed, and get ready for our playoff run. But as it stands today, the Knicks are number one. They share that number one seed with a few teams. I'm going to take a look at them right now. If you're listening on Spotify, the Knicks are 2-0, and the Bulls, Bucks, and Philadelphia 76ers are 2-0. So let's take a look at the Bulls, right? The Bulls have transitioned a little bit. They took a while to do it. For a while, I thought they were the most just non-cognitive functioning franchise for a while in the NBA, just hovering around the 7th and 8th seed with DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine. I was just like, geez, come on, like pick a direction, brother. Let's go. But they finally did it. Josh Giddey's in his second year there. Kobe White as well. They got to make a move with him. But, with Ayo Dosunmu and Dalen Terry and Vukcevic is still there. Buzelis is their young pick. He's blossoming, coming into his own. They've been a tough team. They've been hovering around, 35 to 40 wins or so, and they've yet to really pop into the playoff picture yet. I do not think they're going to, continue a 2-0 trajectory and be a winning team in the Eastern Conference. I think they're going to cap out at about 42 wins, and that's on the higher end. I just don't trust their build of talent across the other teams. But, shout out to them. They're on a good start. They're 2-0. The Bucks, who are also 2-0. A lot of the talk surrounding the Bucks has had to do with Giannis, obviously, whether he's going to stay there or if he's going to request out. The request wasn't heard loud enough by the ownership there, and they acquired Miles Turner. They got Cole Anthony on a buyout. AJ Green, not the legendary Cincinnati Bengals AJ Green, but the white boy AJ Green. You'll get to know him maybe. He signed an extension, but I like their front court. The front court is phenomenal. I mean, you can't get any better. Giannis and me in the front court is good, but Giannis and Miles Turner is amazing. Bobby Portis adding to it is also just, it's a daunting task. But I think if we have Mitchell Robinson healthy, I think we can help neutralize some of that. OG Anunoby also has good length. He can guard Giannis here and there. And I think we can put the zone around him and help. And I don't really trust their guards to hit shots. I think our three-point shooting would knock them out in a series. I think we'd take care of them in 6 games max. The 4 seed, let's see who's at the 4 seed. Oh, the 76ers. The 76ers are a team that, a lot of people in Knicks Nation on Knicks Twitter have kind of crowned the Orlando Magic as that secondary, a threat to the Cleveland Cavaliers or the Detroit Pistons or the Atlanta Hawks. I actually think that should go to the Philadelphia 76ers. And I was thinking about it, but once VJ Edgecombe has shown up as an NBA legitimate starting guard and you pair him in the backcourt with Maxey and you look at what the Knicks may have trouble doing, which is, guarding the perimeter with Jalen Brunson or Miles McBride, OG Anunoby guarding Maxey, a smaller guard, has been difficult. Mikal Bridges, the book is out on him as far as like running him on a lot of screens. He's had some trouble with that in the playoffs for us. So I do think that the Philadelphia 76ers, with their 4 guards, right? They got Maxey, Edgecombe, Quentin Grimes, and they got McCain coming back off of injury. If they can get all of them healthy at the same time, I'm not even counting Paul George into it. Obviously, they're going to need they're going to need Joel Embiid. They're going to need him, and that's obviously a 50-50 shot, whether he's going to be healthy. He's on a minutes restriction right now. But as far as talent-wise, I'm not talking about mentality. I'm not talking about psychological edge, because I didn't mention it with the Bulls thing. But if the Knicks did match up with the Bulls, I think that Jalen Brunson would have an all-time series. Just having the Chicago roots and all that. But I also think the Knicks, when they match up with Philadelphia, don't fear going on the road there. The Knicks won 2 out of 3 on the road there, winning Game 4 in the Wells Fargo Arena and closing it out in Game 6. But as far as talent goes and their ability, Maxey, Edgecombe, Grimes, McCain, Embiid, and then role players in between, I think that they have a chance if they can put it all together to make a decent season out of it. And this may be their last chance to do it, to be honest, before they just go full youth movement. Miami Heat and the Charlotte Hornets. Let's talk about the Heat. We play the Heat tonight. I like the collection of talent that the Heat have. Obviously, Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero. And then they have their young players with Khalil Ware and Nikola Jovic and Jaime Jaquez. And then they got the guard that they picked out of Illinois. I just don't know if their timelines are fully connecting right now for them to be a 45 win and up team. Obviously, Eric Spoelstra is a great coach. I think that they'll make the playoffs. But they are a trade away from being true contenders. And I think if we matched up against them in the playoffs, it would be an interesting series. We got a chance to see them tonight. But I do think Mike Brown would be able to neutralize whatever wrinkles Eric Spoelstra would throw at them. So while they are a franchise op, I don't think in this season they are a true contender to knock us off. And then obviously we have these Charlotte Hornets. I'm going to shout out some of the guys on Knicks Twitter. Shout out to State, man. Charlotte Hornets, man. He's been trying to push that LaMelo Ball agenda for quite some time. And LaMelo, with the young talent that they have there with Brandon Miller, and, obviously they still have Miles Bridges. They have Con Kneppel, their first round pick. They have the kid Zion Jones, I believe. They have Ryan Kalkbrenner. They have a lot of young talent there, but I don't know if the experience is going to be there for them to get through an 82 game season and push more than 40 to 45 wins. But, they could surprise. They could make a playoffs. Miles Bridges is still there. And they got Colin Sexton. They got some good pieces there. I think the Knicks would sweep them, to be honest. Maybe they win one game in Game 3 or Game 4, but I'm not really concerned about the Hornets. Circle back on me if they end up knocking us out in May or something like that. Toronto Raptors, and we'll talk about the Raptors by themselves. The Raptors, they're in an interesting spot because they have young players, but they've kind of paid them all, whether it be Quickly or RJ Barrett, who they assumed our extension. Then they went in and they got Brandon Ingram and Scotty Barnes. They signed an extension for him. He's heavily paid. They got some young players with Jacoby Walter and Boyles. They got some good wing depth. They got some young players. They could win some games here in this league for sure. I don't know if they can be consistent. I don't know if they have the shooting. I don't know if they have the late game closer just yet. And I think they're going to have to make a move. They fired. I don't know if he fired. I don't know the situation. You're going to have to hit Nabil up for that. But I don't know what the deal is with Masai Ujiri, but he's no longer there. So they're going to have to figure out a consolidation of some sort, because it's just too top heavy in terms of the ball handling and the shot creation there. I'm not sure if they can play as a team and pick a direction with the current crop of talent that they have, but they're a good young team for sure. With Barnes and Quickly and Barrett and Jacoby Walter. Shout out to the Cavs and the Pistons. We'll talk about them because I do think that they're serious threats to us this year. The Cavs obviously are missing Darius Garland and DeAndre Hunter and Max Strus early on this season. I think once they get those players back, they're our true number one enemy in the Eastern Conference. Donovan Mitchell is a true superstar electric scorer. if he can put it all together with Evan Mobley and Darius Garland. I'm not going to mention Jared Allen because I think Jared Allen stinks. But fully healthy Knicks versus the Cavs would be a great series. I think it would go 7 games. Ultimately, I think the Knicks are just a little bit more prepared for a 7-game series. I think they're more mentally tough. I think Isaac Okoro was a significant loss for the Cleveland Cavaliers. I don't think Lonzo Ball adds more to them for what they need than Okoro does, and I worry about their ability to defend in a 7-game series. But, that was a part of their strength last year. But I do think Jalen Brunson's super comfortable against them. And I don't think that they throw anything at us other than like high volume of 3-point shooting that, we can't handle. As far as the Pistons go, the Pistons are an interesting team. I want to let their fans know that Isaiah Stewart is not a series changer. I think their experience could have used some help, and I think that they got that last year. They lost Tim Hardaway Jr. They lose Malik Beasley and Dennis Schroeder, but they got Duncan Robinson, and they got Karis LeVert, and maybe Jaden Ivey makes a return and helps their backcourt, and Ron Holland another year of experience. I think they have a good team. Cade Cunningham, another year of experience. I just think that they're a trade away. I don't know what Trajan Langdon wants to do there, whether he wants to push all his chips in the table. I'm going to talk about the Magic in a little bit, who did push their chips all on the table. But I do think that the Pistons can become a true, real contender in this league with their young talent, with Duren and Cade and Thompson. I just think that they have a lot of young pieces, but it's going to be interesting to see which one of them they keep. Let's take a look. We got the Wizards, our good friend, the Wizards, who are 1-1. We need the Wizards to finish with I believe, the ninth more than the ninth worst record in the league. They can't be anything less than ninth in the league, and we get their first round pick. Like Trey Johnson, I like Bub Carrington, CJ McCollum, and Chris Middleton fighting for their lives. I think eventually what their ownership will do, their front office will do, is if they are getting close to the play-in over the course of the season, they will auction off some of their veteran players, and they will get some picks back, and they will try to further their spot in the draft there. Then we got but let's go Wizards for sure. Then we got the big bad Hawks with Ray Allen, aka Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and Alexander, or whatever his name is, and they got Kristaps Porzingis, with the illnesses, and we got don't kill me for that, but he's played. This is the thing about you're making fun of his illness. The second he's healthy, he's trying to kill my team. Okay, so let's put that in perspective. But Trae Young can't guard anybody. Zachary Richichet and Jalen Johnson. That's where this team's ceiling is. If this team can get those two players to play at the next level of their individual trajectory, then they're a serious threat. If not, they're trash. I'm not going to crown them. Dennis Green, rest in peace. I know on Knicks Twitter they want to crown him. Go ahead and crown them. They are who we thought they were. Shout out to the Magic, man. They're 1-2. They're helping us defeat some of the concerns. I think they have a really good team, though. I think they're tough. I like their coach. I like Jalen Suggs. I like Banchero. I like Wagner. I like the young players they got with Jace Richardson and Trent DeSilva. Desmond Bane's one of my favorite players in the league. But we'll see if they can take that next step. And then we got the Celtics, the Nets, and the Pacers. With the Celtics, I already told you about them. It caused a bit of a ruckus on Twitter yesterday. I think they're trash. I think they're going to end up trading a couple pieces at the deadline and trying to tank this year and wait for Tatum to get fully healthy. The Nets, they're going with the right philosophical direction. Just draft a bunch of projects, whether it be Damon, Traore, Saraf, Wolf, whoever that they picked. They're not going to pop this year. They're probably going to trade some of these pieces that they have in their roster. I like, Cam Thomas, good scoring guard. Michael Porter Jr., if you could keep him off of these podcasts, he's a good NBA player. And then the Pacers, I think they're going to figure it out with Rick Carlisle. Wouldn't look too closely at their 0-2 record. I think they're going to make the playoffs, not even the play-in. So I think they're going to be a top 6 seed. So shout out to them. So this is the Op Watch for the Your Knicks podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You can send a Cash App or a Venmo and donate to the channel Poppa Left, POPPA-LEFT. Check out my video recapping the last Knicks win against the Celtics, also recapping the opening night win against the Cavs, and my Mohamed Diawara piece, which I think is going to make me look like a genius later on this season. This is Your Knicks.